My hope is that the Women's Center is a safe and welcoming and supportive, we often call it the Little Yellow House, where women feel safe and supported to come here for whatever reason that is. Obviously my focus is around gender-based violence, and so that is one of the things that we really work towards. And here's Delaware. She is our animal, one of our pet therapy dogs, who actually comes to the house to make it welcoming and supportive for students. We work with students, faculty, and staff around these issues, and so that's everything from responding to cases of sexual assault, relationship violence, and stalking, and providing those services, to then going into the classroom and doing classroom presentations. We also have a program called Mentors in Violence Prevention, which is a bystander intervention program where we train other professionals to then go in and work with students around how to be active bystanders in these kinds of situations. So I think we do outreach on a number of different levels. One of the ways in which we do that is actually through training other allied professionals or student affairs professionals or faculty and staff on how to respond to cases, because they are actually maybe the first line, and so providing that outreach to them is then a way, because they can then get folks connected to us. We have regular classes that we go into every semester to speak about these issues. So we have sort of our regulars where we're in the classroom. We also, again, work with faculty and staff in different ways as well. We work with all the incoming athletes and do a bystander intervention program with them. We also work with most of the Corps of Cadets. People will often, for example, our volunteers or students that come and work for us may come for a certain piece, and then they learn there's all these other areas that affect women and affect people, and that we're working towards creating a community that's inclusive for everyone.
My freshman year, I was in a class where we had to do some sort of service learning, and one of the options was to work at the Women's Center on the vagina monologues. And I had a lot of fun. The people here are just really open, really fun, really good to get along with. I guess my interest in working at the Women's Center just comes from my experiences, seeing what happens to people, especially in college campuses, seeing in the media, everything. A lot of gender-based violence, problems specifically faced by women, and I just thought it was a good place to start, just trying to help do a little bit of activism and learn more about feminism and the whole cause of just women helping women. So. As a sociology major, we study a lot of social problems and a lot of inequality, and so that would tie into issues of gender inequality, sexuality, things like that. And so it has definitely helped me in classes that focus on things like that. The class that I had to do service learning for was a social problems class. I've learned a lot of statistics about gender-based violence, and a lot of science. I've learned a little bit about myself, kind of just seeing things, what I focus on in relationships and what maybe I should focus on instead. This has really helped me. It's actually kind of inspired me to apply to grad schools in the field, so I'm actually now looking at women and gender studies grad programs, whereas before I was still kind of undecided what to do after graduation. So it's definitely helped a lot. Women's Center is important because it supports its students. It gives a resource to people where there is often just kind of a hole. So students can come here and talk in private about issues of sexual violence, gender-based violence, stuff like that. And not just women, men too are definitely free to come. And we really do a lot of outreach and education for the campus. And I think a lot of people don't know all that happens at the Women's Center and all that they do. So I think it's good that, you know, if people can understand what we do a little bit more and help to get our presence known a little bit more, we can help a little bit better. I would want people to know that the Women's Center is a place that you can come and really voice yourself and not feel judged, not feel different or alone, and that you can come with any problem, big or small, talk to us, or even just to feel safe. It's a nice cozy house. It's right off campus, so it's, you know, away from your academic pressures, maybe away from other social pressures, and it's just kind of a safe, happy place that you can come to and feel good about.
So the Women's Center really covers a grand variety of services for students, faculty, and staff. We are under Academic Affairs, supervised through the provost line, which is unique. Because we serve faculty, students, and staff, having eight professionals within the Women's Center is really important because we are reaching a lot of people. And so we kind of talk about it like two sides of the house. We have counseling and advocacy, and then the programming and outreach. So the counseling and advocacy looks like crisis intervention, short to midterm counseling, and that is in terms of sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence. Basically, it runs the gamut of the gender-based violence spectrum. And then we have advocacy, which all of our counselors provide advocacy in different ways. The joke I always make when people are kind of like, why do we have a women's center, or what is that, is I kind of go into we're in Southwest Virginia. It's an institution that was built by white men for white men. Football is huge, and STEM, specifically engineering, is huge. And when you put all those pieces together, it's a pretty hyper-masculine white male place. And so having a place like a women's center that specifically focuses on gender-based issues, but the intersections of all of what that means, because when you take a 50%, 51% of our population who are women, you're getting a lot of pieces of what that looks like when being a woman is happening out in our society. So being a place where somebody knows that they'll get it, they'll believe me, whatever that might be, whether it be something horrific as sexual assault or something like a microaggression of, I walked into my engineering classroom and my professor asked if I was in the right place because I'm one of 10 women, and they apparently don't think, or didn't initially think I belonged there. We are the place where you can come and you know that we are going to get it, we're going to support you, we're going to believe you, and we want the best for you as a student, especially as a female student here on this campus. We do serve male students, absolutely 100%. We serve male survivors. We have bystander intervention programming that we specifically reach out to male groups such as male athletes and Corps of Cadet members. And we're starting to do more with fraternity life. And so we're trying to kind of strike this balance between obviously serving our main population while still reaching all of the needs of in order to kind of end sexism or patriarchal culture, that everybody needs to be at the table. And so how do you kind of balance that? We are doing intentional outreach. In the spring semester, we had a student do kind of a diversity assessment. We are inclusive, as we are open to everybody, obviously, and do support other people's events, but we're not diverse in that we don't reach those students still. So there's a missing piece. And so trying to be more intentional about the work you're doing. And what it generally comes down to is building relationships. It's a core value of who I am as a student affairs professional, is building relationships with students that can translate into being a better women's center.